This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Hello, this is Alex Calvo Garcia. You're listening to the Iron Hour podcast.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, Iron fans. I'm still really liking our intro from TalkSport there. And yes, you guessed it correctly. This is the Iron Hour podcast. I'm your temporary host for this week's episode because Andy Barraclough's decided to go on holiday, which I think is outrageous. But I'm very, very happy to say that two of our usual panellists have not got lives. Marco's shaking his head. He doesn't even have children.
Well, as soon as you've just announced I'm your temporary host this week, we've just lost our two listeners. So this is all irrelevant now.
Excellent. That means we can say what we like. So very much looking forward to it. Marco, how are you?
I'm really good. I'm really looking forward to Saturday after obviously the positive result just gone. So yeah, look forward to his podcast. Obviously, a big news breaking today about the forum, which we'll go into a little bit later. So yeah, nothing bad. Touch wood for now. Down at Scunthorpe anyway, it's all good.
And Gareth, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, not been at work very much this week, so excellent, in fact.
Hard to beat that, really, isn't it?
So I was on the Sunderland game. Was a guy, I forgot the gentleman's name.
Craig Mallet.
Craig, and he says somebody who listened to the podcast actually asked, maybe Gareth Vlog came and asked. He said, "Oh, you drive trains in, Gareth?" And he goes, and Craig went, "Yeah, he works 1 on, 8 off, or something like that."
All haters out there, all haters.
There's never been a truer word said. That is Gareth Rota.
Jealousy is a cruel mistress sometimes, I think. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Iron fans. We're going to have an action-packed episode in store. I've actually run out of space on where I'm making notes. So who knows? I might forget to say something that we actually going to discuss. As Marco said, we're going to talk about the upcoming Fans Forum, which is really, really exciting news. We're going to review the Tamworth game. We're going to talk to Eloise Nichols, who's one of the Fans Voice reps. Even though he's not here, Andy Barraclough has sat down and had a really good chat with her. We'll also review the Sunderland under-21s game. We'll give a quick update and a plug for the FPL. I know Marco's chomping at the bit about that. We've got our usual Spy in the Camp section. I know that went down really well with fans last season. So we again, Andy Barraclough has spoken with a Woking fan, which is great. We'll preview the Woking game. We'll probably get a couple of score predictions as well. We've also got an excellent interview with Scunny fan Ryan Middleton, who I'm sure you might have seen on social media. He's been doing charity fundraising for the mental health charity Mind. And then by last, but by no means least, we'll have our usual hero, idiot, and moment of the week section. I think that's everything. Is there anything I've missed, Marco?
I don't think I can take anymore. I'm full.
Yeah, right. Well, on that basis, then you've mentioned it. I've mentioned it. Really exciting news that the Scunthorpe United are going to be hosting a fans forum up at the football club next week. And who are they going to be doing it in partnership with, Marco?
Yeah, with ourselves. And look, I think you see that on the poster and you think, it should be impartial. And look, we're not there. It's not us answering the questions or asking the questions. We are literally there just to give it a platform. We've got Pete, as you all know, and Aaron, our sponsors, and obviously people who've done a lot of work with the club regarding kit launches. They'll be recording, bringing everybody, not just our listeners, everyone, Scunthorpe fans. That's the main thing that I cannot stress enough. Everyone a chance to view it, get the questions across. And yeah, look, the biggest thing about us, we've always said since day one, it's inclusivity and getting as many people, any worries that they might have, any doubts, getting a chance to air it rather than just reading false rumours online, which is worrying and damaging to the club as well. So it's something that we approached on couple of weeks ago now. We've managed to get this obviously over the line regarding sort of the economics of it, how we're going to do it, how it's going to work. I know obviously a lot of us guys will be there on the night. Tickets are available. I know Moody put that on the socials earlier on today, so you can't miss it. But no, looking forward to it. And look, I know it's something exciting, but it's something that's needed. Transparency is something we haven't had for a lot of years at the club. So now I feel like it's key and a really good time more than ever to have something like this. And I'm really looking forward to being associated, yes, but not distancing myself, but I really cannot stress enough that this isn't about the Iron Hour. It's about fans getting across their points and asking the questions that they can't always ask. And it's a really good opportunity. But anybody who does miss out, we are going to try and get an audio file done. If you can't make it, or if you miss the YouTube live, look, we're going to try our utter best. We're not making any money off this. We're just doing it off our own backs, our own time, to bring it all to you guys. So yeah, really looking forward to it. Massive thanks to a board. I think we're going to have Andy Butler as well. So look, you can ask him why Starbucks better than Cafu if you want. That's what I'll be doing. So, yeah,
my God, who are you and what have you done with Marco Puliga?
Look, I was so wrong, but we'll come on to that later as well. But yeah, look, it's just a case of us using our platform. Obviously, YouTube, we run off Gareth's channel. It's got nearly 16,000 subscribers, Gareth.
15.
15.
Oh, only 15,000. Isn't that terrible?
And look, so it'll be Sidemen next, will Gareth? We'll be in Ballers League. We'll have an Iron Hours Ballers League team. But yeah, and it's just to give it that platform. Obviously, it'll be on all our socials. We're big time now. We've got a blue tick, if you haven't noticed.
So have we got blue tick?
We've got a blue tick.
Yeah.
Obviously, you mentioned at the start of the show there, we've got a lot of guests, to ram into this episode. I can tag everyone without minimising words and everything. So yeah, really look forward to it. But yeah, the forum's a really popular, a really good event, and I'm looking forward to it next Thursday. So.
Right then. So for anybody who hasn't seen on the social media, maybe you've been, I don't know, away on holiday this week or living in a cave or, in Grimsby, the Fans Forum is going to take place in the MKA Executive Lounge up at the Attis Arena on Thursday, August the 21st, and will be hosted by the NAR podcast. The event will commence from 7 p.m, with supporters invited to arrive at the Attis Arena from 6:30. The bar facilities in the lounge will be open. The top table will consist of all 4 owners, so Michelle Harness, Roger Arman, George Aikenhead and Ian Sharp, and as Marco quite correctly said, along with first team manager Andy Butler and CEO Matt Roberts, will be in attendance to ask questions from supporters. And the club have also added that we're looking to stream the event live on YouTube for those who can't attend. And as Marco said, tech permitting, we'll try and get an audio file out afterwards, so you can give it a listen on Spotify or wherever else you get your podcasts. Gareth, if you could ask any one of those people one question, what would it be, and would it involve chips?
No, it wouldn't. Actually, it wouldn't. I'd inquire about the pricing and bringing the bar back in house.
Interesting. And Marco, what would your question be?
It's a good point Gareth makes. Obviously, that might get mentioned on Thursday. You've put me on the spot there. But yeah,
it's okay. Marco will give it a bit.
I've got one, and I feel we'll get mentioned on Thursday, and we can't pussyfoot around it. The pitch concerned me on Tuesday night, so I feel like that may come up. We'll get a better idea and a better picture of it on Saturday. So that'd be one of my main concerns at the minute. It seems to come up very easy.
Good question. I like it. And obviously, as we will be working with the club to host the forum, if fans can't make it and they want to submit a question to be asked, how would they go about doing that, Marco?
They can send us an email, which will be on the podcast post itself. Off the top of my head, I don't do emails, but Gareth, help me out.
Iron Hour Podcast at gmail.com.
That's very easy, isn't it?
Excellent.
Yeah,
and also
link as well. So if you've got any questions, if you can't make it, like I said, we'll do our utter best to get through, because that is our main aim. We want everyone to have a say.
Correct. Tweet us, bung us a message on Instagram as well. Actually, if that'll work with you, and if you're on Insta and you're not yet following us, change that. Or for that matter, grab us at the Woking game on Saturday. If you see us passing and you think, oh, actually, do you know what? I'd like the folks who ask that. Then they can grab us. And as long as Marco's not too drunk, he will remember.
Make me write it down. If you do see it, make me write it down on my notes, because I definitely
Right. Speaking of enjoying the celebrations, Gareth, let's start with Tamworth.
Yes.
If you had to sum it up in 3 words, what would your 3 words be?
Excellent away day.
Oh, what makes you say that?
We won. No, it was just a good day all round. Sun was shining. I burnt my face. The players.
That's a good day. Burning
my face.
That's the aim.
Well, it's better than what's it called, getting rained on. No, like I say, the players were just up for it. Everybody, there was no one at fault for anything really. Yeah, it was just a good day. It was just an excellent away day. The fans were in fine form as normal. Still out away end. What more do you want? Start the season.
And obviously, unless an Iron fan has literally been living in a cave over the last sort of week or so, it was a really good 2-1 win. 11 minutes of injury time was signalled. When it got to about the 12th minute of injury time, were you flapping? Were you confident we were going to hold on?
I was flapping at the 5th minute of injury time. But Tamworth just seemed to be throwing everything out, and then there's Tom Tonks with his throw, just launch it into the box as well, and you just worry every time. But we held firm, held steadfast, and saw it over the line. Some bodies on the line last. It's defending, great saves. Yeah, we just got the job done, saw it out in the end.
And Marco, obviously, I mean, I got the bus to the game and sort of was on the way back, and people were having a bit of a chat about who their man of the match was. A couple of shouts for Campbell, a couple of shouts for Ewing, a couple of shouts for Whitehall, obviously with a free kick. Is there anybody who caught your eye?
Yeah, I mean, look, you just mentioned the extra time there, obviously 11 minutes. That a huge save for Mason. At the end, I didn't make it to the game. It was a Dazn job. That's a different story about their coverage.
Yes, it was a bit ropey, wasn't it? The signal,
absolute shit show. But we won't mention that. But yeah, really happy for Mason. Obviously, that's the picture for this week's podcast. Is Mason, and look, it's took a lot of flack over a pre-season. So to see him make that save, and obviously, it was game winning in the end. So yeah, really, really good to see that. But the big standout for me, and he has been all pre-season, I think we mentioned on the podcast last week, Ewing looks a bit of a player. He really does look that next level above. I thought his overall play, his passing, his work rate, and obviously Deckhow as well is another one that stood out for work rate, but overall quality on the ball, Ewing just looked like a real talent, and I think we're very lucky to have him here.
And Gareth, obviously, Marco favourably compared Joe Starbuck to Cafu, no less. What was his performance like for you?
I think early doors he had one mistake, I think, which led to a chance for them, which Evans did well to get a tackle in, a block in. But no, I think he did really well. But like I said earlier, I think everybody did really well. There's no one we can really pull out. And I know Marco's pulled Ewing out, but I just think everybody put in a performance, in all fairness, did the job.
Gareth said that from early on last season, saying Starbuck seems to grow into a game.
Yeah.
I think Saturday was very similar. Like I said, there was a little bit of a mistake early on. Like, oh God, is he going to be that man this season? But yeah, as the game went on, I think he did grow into the game and sort of understood his role. Playing in sort of the back four, I think maybe suiting him a little bit better than a wing back because he knows his role. And he's got obviously that bit of defence in front of him regarding a winger. So yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with Gareth. I think you saw what he mentioned last year. I think you saw it in fruition.
Very fair. And obviously, we've since also had the game on the Tuesday night. Marco, I gather you went for a posh seat, didn't you? Bit of National League Cup action.
Well, my prawn sandwiches were lovely.
Oh.
But no, look, and I know this competition, I say it every week, gets a lot of flack. And look, I understand more than anyone. It's an abomination. I don't agree with the format. I don't like it. But if you'd have offered me a game against, I don't know, Donny Bells on a Wednesday night when we were going through that turmoil, knowing if we had a club, in the sun, a good game of football, seeing a lot of players that I've not yet seen play. It was a really good night. The performance less so. A really good opportunity to see players that obviously didn't feature on Saturday. I did mention on Twitter or X, I don't really think anybody did too much to give Andy Butler any headaches. Not that I saw anyway. The first 20 were good when the 18, we'll call them, were on. But yeah, when we made those 4 substitutions, it really did show. I thought, barring Carlton, nobody's really played their way into that team on Saturday. Otherwise, unless there's injuries. But yeah, Paveda for Sunderland, the 25-year-old in an under-21s team. Mateta played 30 games for Bolton last year in the under-21s team. So yeah, look, it's a good experience for the guys. 1,000 people at Granford Park. on a Wednesday, obviously in a Tuesday, which a competition that not a lot of people agree with. It was okay, and look, I think Butler would have learned a lot, but you can't get out of training that needed to do in a match situation. So yeah, good to see, but yeah, overall, I don't think you'll be seeing too many of them on Saturday.
I agree there with Mark. What Marco said, first 20 minutes we looked good, and we made those substitutions, and yeah, it just went downhill from there. Really, like I say, no one really staked a claim for a place. There were some players that possibly looked like they didn't want to be there either. So, but yeah, Carlton was probably the only standout.
Fair enough. Right then, speaking of standout, obviously we've got a few extra podcast interviews for you today during this episode. So I feel like this is a good moment to go to the first one, where we've got Andy Barraclough talking with well-known Iron fan and one of the fans' voice reps, Eloise.
Here she is. I'm joined by one of the newest members of the Fan Voice, a scheme that's kicked off, I think, 2 weeks ago. I've no idea what it is. I'm really interested to find out what it is. So I've got one of the members with me today, Eloise Nichols. How's the pronunciation on the name? Any good?
Not bad. You've been practicing.
I have been practicing before we come on air, and I've still butchered it.
Like
so yourself, Andy Lehman, David Cross and Ryan Ashmore were announced to a bit of a fanfare a couple of weeks ago as the 4 members of the Fans Voice. So Eloise, I wonder if we could just educate the fans, educate the listeners. What is the scheme as you understand?
So it's going to be a monthly meeting that we have where we can, if any questions have come in from fans, any hot topics that seem to be going on, any rumblings or anything, it's just kind of a place where we can all, I guess, just have a chat, talk things through and just see what we can do to improve things or what we can do just generally to make the fan engagement a bit better, I think.
So in terms of how it's going to work from the club perspective, do you think it'll be a case of them canvassing you guys for opinions or saying, we're thinking of doing this? How do you think the fans will react to that?
Yeah, I think so. And it's kind of having that, if you're known within your stand or if you've got people that you speak to, kind of getting their perspectives and just having that kind of place for everyone's voice to be heard, I guess. And I think there's mention of maybe having like a communication channel through an email. So if people have got ways to let us know of anything that can be sent by email, or obviously if they see us around, just a person that can then gather people's views and put them into practice, I guess.
I guess some of the fans would say concern might be that what they want from the members of the Fans Voice is people who are going to challenge the club. Do you think the people that they've picked, do you think you'll be able to push back a little bit to the club?
I think so, yeah. I think that's the point of it. It's kind of having that outside perspective, but sort of being able to get that across now. So yeah, I think, if we think actually from what we've heard, that's probably not going to go down too well. Yeah, it's being able to say that, isn't it? And I think I'm quite good at doing that. So we'll see.
Well, you talked there about yourself and your communication skills. So, educate us. What's your background?
So I'm assuming I'm allowed to say this. I'm a social worker. So, working with people day to day, getting people's voices heard and advocating for people. So that's kind of what I do day to day anyway. So being able to put that into something that I love on the side as well. Yeah, should be an interesting couple of months, hopefully.
And in terms of visibility, then you mentioned there, I think, is it still called the Mort stand? You obviously sit in the Mort stand. Do you think you're an approachable person? Can you see many people coming up to you and saying, well, I'll tell you what, the hot dogs aren't very good, Louise?
Yeah, I think so. And it's being able to say, well, we can raise it, but let's, what can we do about it? What are your suggestions, rather than just maybe saying this isn't any good, maybe bring to the table something that might be. So I think as long as people kind of have that, discussion and conversation, yeah, I am approachable, I hope. I think people in there have seen me from being 9 years old, so yeah. And
last season was obviously a huge season. Talk to us about that promotion final then, because we've had so many different accounts of it. What was it like for you?
I don't think I can really remember it. When the final whistle blew, I actually fainted.
No, you didn't.
I don't know if I stood up.
You didn't.
And I just went, oh God. So yeah, I can't really remember much of it, to be honest. It was just kind of and a watch was saying my heart rate's high and.
Oh, I get that a lot where it says you're stressed, take a break.
Are you working out? No, I'm sat watching Scunthorpe.
Marco's fainted as well, actually, in that fight, but I think his might have been the incredible amount of vodka he had.
Yeah, well, I'd had a few beforehand, but it wasn't. I mean, by the time the game was over, I think it would have all been bloody sober. So it was a good day, wasn't it? And I think summer seems to have come and gone quite quickly this year. So yeah, we're starting again.
And finally, then, season kicked off on Saturday with an impressive 2-1 victory. What hopes do you hold for this season?
I was having this conversation the other day with my brother and his friend, and it was kind of, why aren't we aiming higher? We've got a decent squad, which we know was good last season. I'm not I think the pressure will be off this year, which would be nice. I'm not thinking that we're going to be expected to win every game, but nice if we did. Yeah, I mean, we'll go for playoffs. Why not?
There you go. Then that was Voice Hands member, Voice Eloise.
Right, thank you very much there to Barra and also to Eloise, talking about her role and how herself and some of the other fans reps can elevate the voices of the supporters on a day-to-day basis at the clubs, and when those big moments happen, like the forum, like we mentioned earlier. Obviously that's going to be a really good opportunity for fans to be able to ask questions, not just to the board but of Andy Butler, of Matt Roberts, the chief exec as well. Now, Marco, speaking of questions, it's your baby. Talk to us about the FPL.
Oh, early doors. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I think we're well over like 220, 230. It starts tomorrow night. So you'll be hearing this on the day where Fantasy Premier League starts. So you've probably
Friday night. What's the game at 8 o'clock?
Liverpool-Bournemouth.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So you've got possibly, when this gets released, a few hours. I think we'll be an 8 o'clock kickoff. The deadline's maybe 5 to get your teams in. So look, we've literally done so well to get as many players. So we've got Whitehall, Howe, Denton, see what sort of teams they're going to put in. But yeah, it's not too late to join. So if you're listening to this today, the Iron Hour Fantasy Podcast League, the code is 06WMKT. Again, it will be on the post because I've got unlimited characters now. So yeah, it will be on the post. And yeah, look, there's good, obviously, the weekly updates on here as there was last season.
Special prizes.
The special prizes are some very interesting team names. But
Go on, give me one of your favourites. Give me a good team name.
There's some crackers. I mean, I quite like mine, but the best one for me.
You can't nominate yourself. Bugger off. Give me somebody else's.
Well, I'm not going to give you one because there's going to be a prize for the best one, and we can't do it until we've got everybody in the league.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough.
Yes, please do if you haven't joined already. I did my team today. Bit weird not putting Isaac in, even though he's probably the most expensive striker and he's not in the team, so that's a bit of a weird one.
It's not more expensive than Haaland.
I've got him in.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That's a little, what do you call it? A little snippet out. Yeah, I'm backing him, and I'm backing City. Off topic, I've got City to win the league. Quite fancy him.
Yeah, I think I have as well, actually. But we shall see. And now, Gareth, obviously, Marco's mentioned there a few of the Scunny players who've joined the league this year. So it's a really exciting opportunity for fans to quite literally go up against Danny Whitehall, Dak Howe, Tyler Denton, to just name just a couple.
Cal Roberts.
Oh,
I was going to say.
Yeah.
So
Cal,
when you finish above Cal in the league, are we just going to start getting you singing Roberts again? Ole, ole.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I'll be finishing above them all. I'll be finishing above them all.
Oh, a little bit of trash talking. I like it.
I've got to do better than I did last season. I think I was 50th last season, I think. So
not bad going.
I'm going for 14, especially when I don't watch the Premier League.
Yeah.
True story. So yeah, I'm going for 49th this time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can say from personal experiences that at least it gives those of us who don't really care about the Premier League, at least it gives us an opportunity to half care as to whether or not we're going to be competitive with each other. We shall see. But Marco, give us that code one more time.
It's 06WMKT.
Perfect.
Yeah,
is it a 0 or an O?
It's a 0.
0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. And don't worry about if you do miss the deadline, Iron fans. You can still join the league late. You'll just have a little bit of a catch up. Or alternatively, if you set your team up in time for the deadline and then you don't join the league for another couple of days or whatever, it will carry your points across if you set up your team in time. So yeah, very much looking forward to that, and having a few prizes on offer. We'll make sure that we get updates most weeks from Marco. Yeah, very much looking forward to it. Right then, Iron fans, that was our FPL update. Let's go for another interview, I think. Barra's been a busy boy when he's on holiday. Any of you Iron fans who are on social media might have already seen that very well-known Scunthorpe United fan, Ryan Middleton, has been doing some excellent charity fundraising for the mental health charity Mind. walking over 100 kilometres over the space of 7 days. Here's Barra and here's Ryan talking a little bit about it.
Joining us on this week's episode of the Iron Hour podcast, I've got fan panelist from BBC Radio Humberside, Ryan Middleton, and Ryan is going to talk to us about a walk he's doing this week. Over to you, Ryan.
Perfect. Sorry, I didn't know that was. That's not a very good
Seamless,
start.
Mate.
Yeah, so I'm walking, hopefully walking 108 kilometres this week for on average 108 people that we lose to suicide every week. I'm raising money for Mind, which is a mental health charity that supports anybody suffering with all kinds of different mental health issues, whether that be depression, anxiety, bipolar, eating disorder, anything. And they do a really good job. They've helped me a lot in the past. And yeah, I just want to give a little bit back really for the support they've given me. And yeah, raise a little bit of money really and just make a difference.
So we're recording this on Tuesday, but this won't go out until the back end of the week. So as it stands right now, what's that figure looking like?
So last time I checked this morning, it was at £715.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable. It was a bit of a last minute idea really. And I only put the page on, I think it was last Tuesday. So it's basically a week it's been on. And I set a target of 500. And at the time, I thought that was pretty optimistic, to be honest, just considering the fact that it's actually the first bit of proper fundraising that I've ever done. So yeah, I'm blown away with the amount that's already been raised. I've had people message me saying they'll give me some sort of cash donations and things like that at the games this week. Obviously, we've got 2 home games this week as well. So I've had some unbelievable support, and I am genuinely blown away by it. But for me, it's not just about the actual amount. It's about the message and sort of spreading the awareness and getting other people out as well. I mean, obviously, most people will have seen. I went walking yesterday with Jack Evans and Christian. Who are both big Iron fans, and they've both already said they wouldn't mind coming back out at some point this week and doing another walk because it actually improved their own mental and physical health. So yeah, it's getting other people involved as well, which is something that I've been really sort of proud and happy to do, really.
And obviously the week finishes with the home game against Woking. Are you looking at getting a walk incorporated in that game?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've already got, I'm giving stuff away now. I've got Jamie who's going to be joining me on that one. So I'm going to walk round to his house. He lives the other end of Ashby, and then walk from his house all the way down to the ground. And then after the game, I'll be walking all the way home as well, and I'll be doing the same today as well for the National League Cup game. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not the biggest game in the world. I can't say I'm overly excited for the game, but it's a game of football and I can include it in this walking challenge. So I can get myself there, do a long walk, and I've got a football game to watch at the end of it. So yeah, I'm definitely going later for sure.
And finally, just before you get off, Ryan, talk to us about Saturday against Tamworth. What a fantastic start to the season. Who stood out for you?
Yeah, so I thought it was a brilliant... I'm proud to be a Scunthorpe United fan anyway, but I was really proud of the whole team and the way that they came together. I thought they defended brilliantly as a team, and that's not just the defence, that's the midfield and the attack as well. In terms of the best player from the game, I would probably say I've got 3 on my mind and I've struggled to whittle it down to 1, to be honest. So I'll give you the 3. I thought Dec Howe was unbelievable. He absolutely worked his backside off all game until he came off. I thought Joe Starbuck was incredible. I thought it was probably his best game I've ever seen him have, actually, including obviously last season. And I've got to say Mason Campbell. I thought he was brilliant. I've had my doubts, as a lot of other people have. Not everybody, but a lot of people. But all I will say is if he performs like that for the other 45 games, then I'll certainly be eating humble pie, because he had a brilliant game. He made a couple of cracking saves, particularly at the end, when it mattered most. And I'm really pleased for him. He's had a lot of sort of doubters, and I think there's nothing better than proving doubters wrong. And I am one of the doubters. I thought we should have gone out and got a more experienced goalkeeper. Obviously, it is only game one. Things can change very quickly. But if he performs like that, he really does have my full backing, and I really hope that he can carry on. So yeah, they're my three. I'm struggling to put it down to one, to be honest. Probably Deck Howe, I think, edges it, just purely for his work rate. I thought it was incredible. I know he's known for scoring a lot of goals at Gainsborough and things like that, but it was more than that on Saturday. It was all about his actual work rate and his commitment to the cause. Really, it was definitely a man that was playing to prove a point, really, and show that he deserves to be in the starting lineup. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think he'd start the game. When the lineup came out, I was quite surprised. So yeah, I'm really pleased for Deck. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Well, and then before you go, I'll ask you one more. The formation caught a lot of people off guard. In the end, it was a 4-4-2. And that four-in midfield was quite fluid at times, so it flexed between a box and a diamond. Now, when we rotated between those two, between the diamond and the box, I highlighted that what you needed was a real attacking outlet from your fullbacks. And you touched on Starbuck. I thought he really gave that on Saturday. Do you see those fullback positions being quite vital if we are going to keep to that 4-4-2?
Yeah, absolutely. To be fair, a player I haven't mentioned is Boise, who I thought was unbelievable as well. What I would say is I think it was his sort of game, in that it was physical, it was long ball, and Will Evans, to be fair. It was physical, it was long ball. They were very direct. I actually thought they were quite a poor side, I'll be honest with you. I expected more from them. I know they've always been a direct side and not played a massive amount of football. But actually, after seeing them on Saturday, I think they might struggle a little bit this season. I thought they didn't play a lot of football at all. And I think they might get found out a little bit this season. I know they had an unbelievable season last time out, with the FA Cup run and finishing 10th and everything. But there's only so long that I think you can get away with that. Teams are going to start figuring you out a little bit. But yeah, you've got to give credit to us. We played really well. In terms of the formation, I was very surprised. I thought we was going to go with a 5. I thought we was going to go with 3 centre halves with Ollie Rose to the right, and then obviously Starbuck and Horton as wing backs. I thought it was brave from Butler. I think we've criticised him in the past when he's maybe gone a bit too defensive, particularly last season early on. So I think if you're going to criticise that, you've got to sort of praise him when he does go brave, particularly away from home, which is what he did, and he was rewarded for that, in that we obviously got the 3 points, and it's an unbelievable start to the season. I know it's only one game, but I think as a whole club, there's been a lot of negativity recently, especially after a promotion. I think we really needed that as a club, on the whole. The directors, the fans, the players, everybody. I think we just really needed that little boost, and hopefully we can back it up on Saturday now, at home to Woking. I'm hoping that we can remain solid at home, because that's something that we really were in the last couple of years in the National League North. So I'm hoping that we can carry that on this season, because home form is so important to any club, but certainly if you're trying to sort of stay up and then push up the league a little bit if we can. So yeah, I was really proud on Saturday. It was a good day out, and yeah, a really good performance, I would say.
Cheers, Ryan, top man.
Perfect, thank you.
Ryan and Iron fans, that was an excellent interview from Barra and from Ryan. As you will notice, the good people of Doncaster have discovered electricity.
We have.
Gareth no longer looks like he's been kidnapped on some sort of Somali pirate ship. So we can now see him, which is excellent. We still can't really sort of see Marco, but that's probably for the best.
That's ruthless. I'm in my new house, and I think this is as good as it gets for lighting. I think we are redoing the kitchen, but
good luck. That's all I'll say. Good luck. Now, in addition to all of his excellent work, charity fundraising, Barra and Ryan talked a little bit about the Woking game on Saturday. Marco, I'll come to you first before I go to our Spine the Camp. How are you feeling? Nervous, optimistic, bit of both?
I'm really confident. If you'd have before the Tamworth game, I was what you've just said. I was nervous and a little bit apprehensive. I know me and Barra both said we'd take a point, which obviously can be seen as a little bit negative. But look, Tamworth's a really tough place to go. Butler mentioned on Homicide before, saying, look, Tamworth's probably one of the worst games you'd have wanted away early doors. Not a lot of teams go there and get results. So to go there and do what we did, I think even the most pessimistic of Scunthorpe fans would be up for this Saturday. I'm up for it. I really think we can get a win. I'm going 2-0 Lion. I don't know if it early doors, but yeah, I think we can take the game to them. We've got a lot of options now. Obviously, we know we may be not as strong depth-wise as we thought after seeing Tuesday night. But look, with the starting 11, unless there's any forced injuries, but we started on Saturday, I'm very optimistic we can get a positive result on Saturday.
Right, Marco's just given his prediction there. But before I come to Gareth, why don't we get a voice from Woking, from the mean streets of Surrey? It's another one of our usual Spine the Camp segments, and I'm very, very happy to say that this week Barra has caught up with Jacob from Cardinal Conversations.
Thanks for joining us, Jacob. This is a bit of a look at Woking, see what we can get from our usual Spy in the Camp segment. Don't be alarmed, we won't hold you to it. But the season kicked off with a 2-0 defeat. A tough one, really, against relegated team Carlisle, and probably tipped for the title. How was the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing because obviously you look forward to the start of the season kind of all summer long. Obviously, we have really long summers in this league from like the end of April up until like the start of August. So you're always kind of looking forward to it. You get through pre-season, and then I think pretty early on in the game you could tell there was a massive golfing class, which was after the first kind of 15 minutes you was just like, this isn't going to go well, and then it didn't go well. So a bit disappointing, I think, from that aspect. But as you mentioned, Carlisle are definitely going to be up there this season. They're probably going to be fighting out for the title, so it's a tough one to have first up. So I think we'll probably read more into the next few games. Obviously the one on Saturday is now another tough one, so there's no easy games, but I think look at especially the next home game as well, which is against Wealdstone at home. I think that would probably give a better idea of maybe how we're going to look this season. But yeah, it's always frustrating when you have all that optimism going into the first game and then you don't win it, and you lose it at home in front of a good crowd, and it's like, okay, we were excited and now don't know how to feel really. But yeah, Carlisle look brilliant, so I assume they're going to kind of.
And I guess the question I wanted to ask you was a bit of a controversial incident in that game with Luke Armstrong picking up that horror injury, to be honest with you. What was the view from the crowd on that one?
It was a bit confusing when, I mean, we were stood behind the goal at the other end and you just couldn't really tell what was going on. So the ball almost went over the line like 3 times, and then all of a sudden we ended up with a goal kick. So it was a little bit confusing. We didn't really know what had happened. Obviously, looking at the picture afterwards, I was kind of like, wow, I didn't realise it was that bad. But yeah, I think kind of looking at the footage, it's one of those where the keeper puts his foot up, he puts his head down, and they kind of connect. So it didn't look great, but I mean, he scored on Saturday, so I'm sure he couldn't care less probably. He got the goal, they got the win, and they're probably happy. But I guess maybe it's the kind of welcome to the National League type of moment where it's there's a bit of physicality and those things go on. But we've actually got a kind of second choice goalkeeper in at the moment, so he's not even our first choice keeper. So I don't know if that played a part at all. Kind of being a bit kind of rash. There's certainly a few things in the game where he looked like he was struggling a little bit. But an interesting moment. But yeah, one at the time when you looked at it, it didn't look great. It didn't look crazy. The reaction from the crowd wasn't like, oh wow, like something mad's happened. So I was really surprised afterwards to see the photo that you're talking about.
So last season you finished just 6 points above the relegation zone. Positionally wise, quite comfortable, I think in 15th or 16th. But as I say, points just 6 points above that relegation zone. What's your ambitions for this season?
Yeah, I think it's a tough one. It's a tough one for this season, as you mentioned. The kind of end of the season, we finished just above the relegation zone. We were kind of safe a couple of games from the end of the season, but it was kind of a real season of two halves. The first half half of the season was pretty terrible. Swap managers. Our last manager, Michael Doyle, got sacked right near the end of December. It was just before Christmas, with a new manager coming in like a week later. So it was kind of half the season with one, half the season with the other. But under Neil Argley, who's the current manager, it was much better. And it was kind of disappointing actually that we did end up in what was a bit of a relegation fight, because we definitely improved after we switched managers. So I think a lot of people were like, yeah, we're fine, we're safe. And then actually, as kind of the run-in kind of kicked in, it was like, actually, we're not that safe. The thing last season that held us back was quite a lot of draws. So we were drawing a lot of games. So we were quite happy, like not, we weren't losing like we were in the first half of the season, but picking up a lot of draws. So everyone was kind of happy. But then, we got to kind of the final part of the season, and it was like, actually, if we don't win a few games here, we're going to be in trouble. So thankfully, we did manage to win a few. There's a few big results. Kind of, we went to Oldham and won, which was huge, and that felt like a kind of a big moment near the end of the season, which was one of the key turning points. And if it hadn't have gone our way, you kind of look at those ones thinking, well, what would have happened? So that was brilliant. So, but this season, everyone's a lot more positive. I don't know how positive after Saturday. Obviously, that's a bit of a tricky one, but I think that they managed to maintain who they wanted to maintain. There's been a few additions to the squad, which have been kind of mainly younger players with potential rather than kind of proven, experience at this level. So I think people are relatively confident, but as I mentioned, maybe kind of Saturday showed that there's a bit more kind of bedding in to go. But I think if you speak to most people, I think they're talking kind of, top half and then see what we can do. But after the first month of the season, I guess people might be looking at that again, but we'll see.
And finally, then hit us up with a prediction for this weekend. How do you see it going?
Well, I think it's a really tough game. I think especially given your result on the weekend, which is kind of what you expect with teams that are coming with momentum into the league. Obviously, we've done that a few times when we've come up from the Conference South. So I think it's going to be really difficult. Obviously, the first home game as well. So I think it's going to be really tricky. I think a lot of it, just depends how we kind of bounce back from the Carlisle game, because I think the manager, probably would have been really disappointed. Obviously, the players would be, but it's just how much I think that they can kind of come together and put in a different performance. I think if they put in a similar performance, I can't see us getting much from the game if it's a similar performance, because we're very passive in that game and just didn't really do anything. But I think hopefully if we can kind of get together, have a good week of kind of training and all that kind of stuff, and a week more into the season and playing together and stuff, maybe we'll be okay. But I'll go for a 2-2 draw.
Excellent. Thank you very much to Barra and to Jacob for that. Gareth, obviously Marco there has mentioned that he's perhaps a little bit more optimistic after seeing us win at Tamworth. Do you share that optimism?
Yeah, definitely do. I just think as well, just carrying on from last season with our home form. We did so well last season. I think it was only Buxton, was it, that beat us at home? So I'd like to think with that, we'd carry that on as well. But after the Tamworth game, I just think that it's ours to lose more than anything. With the way if we play the same we did at Tamworth, then we're going to win again.
I mean, without being an absolute arsehole, which I will get called, and
why change the habit of a lifetime? Go for it.
And I am going to be, but this week we could have potentially, obviously Tamworth Tuesday, we could have potentially been playing a very deflated, flat Morecambe. If this takeover had have gone through, we could be sitting on 9 points at the end of this week with a win at Woking. It'd have been a really good time to play him. Obviously, we're going to mention Morecambe a bit later on, but look, to be on 6 points after 2 games, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah. So, Gareth, Marco went for 2-0. I'll give you a second to think about your prediction. Marco, who's going to score? Give me the Scunny goal scorers if we're going to win 2-0.
Oh, I would have said Hal, but he rolled his ankle in the warm-up on Tuesday, so I think he might be aware. I know Butler did interview if he's mentioned Hal. Because when me and Gareth actually got to the ground, Hal got mentioned, because obviously Gareth is his sponsor, and then there was a late change for Starbuck to be put into the squad.
Yeah.
But look, I don't know how serious that is, otherwise I would have said Hal, because I think he mentioned on my podcast the other week he was looking forward to playing at Glanford Park, and obviously after his performance against Tamworth. But no, I'm gonna go really old school, boring Whitehall Roberts, 1 each.
Sometimes boring is best. Gareth, firstly, give me a score prediction, and then assuming you don't say 0-0, give me a scorers. I'm
also going 2-0.
Okay.
If I can't go 2-0, I'll go 3-0.
No. Go for 2-0.
I'm going 2-0. I'm going 2-0.
Okay. Are you going to say that Whitehall and Roberts score one each as well?
No.
Good.
I'm going to say Boyce is going to score one.
Like that.
And also, I think Robert. Yeah, we'll go Robert.
Fair.
Yeah.
So I am okay, optimistic-ish. The only thing that would perhaps concern me is that it'll be a little bit of a different challenge to Tamworth.
Yeah.
Woking are probably going to be happy to be a little bit counter-attacking. If we're going to win that, we're going to have to try and work out how we break them down. So it'll be an interesting to see how we set up. If he sticks to four at the back, particularly if he sticks to how up front. Do you try and play with a little bit more width because the pitch is narrower? Lots of interesting questions that we'll see. I could see Woking coming up and maybe successfully frustrating us a little bit. I'll go for 1-1. I liked Gareth's shout with a goal from a set piece though, so I'll go for Evans. Marco, you don't look very happy with me.
No, you were there on Saturday. We're going on mission. We're going Invincibles. It's I know.
Right, on that basis, that Tamworth are going to win the league because the last two sides we beat on the opening day away from home have won the league.
I just last year even when we was top of the league, I was still a little bit negative, but I've just got a really good feeling about Saturday. I really do think we take the game to him. Look, I don't know is it the Cardinals? Is that their nickname?
Yeah.
That's the Cardinal podcast. This will be getting clipped, no doubt. But I'm confident. I think we'll beat them 2-0. But I've just got that feeling. Not quite a run through like Scarborough, but I think we'll be.
Yeah, because that works out well, didn't it? I just like to say, if it all goes Pete Tong and I ever have to move down to the mean streets of Woking, I said 1-1. Right then, that's our score predictions. That's our preview for the Woking game. Speaking of Marco getting predictions quite wrong, we're going to go for our hero, idiot, and moment of the week. Gareth, who's your hero of the week?
My hero of the week is Andy Butler in the under-21 game against Sunderland on Tuesday night. Part of the rules are that you've got to have 4 players playing that played in the last game. And he made those 4 players play 20 minutes and then took them straight off. So for me, he's my hero for that. He did go downhill after that, but he's still my hero for looking out for those 4 players. And hopefully, we see them on there Saturday. Very
strong shout, Gareth. I like it. Marco, follow that.
Yeah, really good answer. Mine's you guys. So everybody listening, you're my heroes. Obviously, Scunthorpe announced earlier on the week 2,500 season tickets sold.
Not just me and Gareth, not 2.
No, I think James said the best in a decade.
Yeah,
which is considering where we've came from, is absolutely outstanding. So yeah, look, there's no point in saying anything else. It's just you guys, heroes.
Excellent. And what we're going to do after the podcast has come out, keep an eye out on our Twitter and hopefully our Instagram as well, tech permitted, is we'll do a little poll so you can tell us who you think your hero of the week. I will go with Ryan, just because obviously he had a great little chat there with Barra about charity fundraising, raising money for a great cause as well. So big shout out to Ryan from us as well. Right, so that's our hero of the week. Who am I going to pick? That is a good question. Let's go for Andy Butler. I think resting players, and it'll look good if we win against Woking, or if we get a draw and we play well. So let's hope it's a good sign and the lads look rested against Woking on Saturday. Marco, who's your idiot of the week?
My idiot, torn. I nearly said Isaac for Newcastle for that whole shit show. But I mentioned on obviously on our socials earlier, Iron Stats put Starbuck 13 games, 13 wins. And look, for as concerned and worried I was about him starting last year, I'll hold my hands up. He was fantastic on Saturday. I owe an apology. So I'm the idiot for doubting Scunthorpe's Cafu. And look, yeah, it's been really impressive, and I just hope he carries on and long may it continue.
I'll be honest with you, guys. Given that Marco's nominated himself, no matter who me and you say here, we might be struggling.
I was going to say, I totally agree with Marco as well. He is the idiot. But no, mine was some of the fans, once again, Tuesday night, at the end of the game, booing. We're playing Sunderland under 21s in a cup that really means nothing. And yeah, we were 2-0 up, it's gone to 3-2. But yeah, there's no need to be booing at the end of the game and just get over it.
Strong shout. I like it. And my nomination for Idiot of the Week will be the at time of recording current Morecambe owner Jason Whittingham. As Marco said earlier, we're recording this on Thursday, and an announcement went out this afternoon saying that they theoretically agreed a sale. So fingers crossed that goes through. But real feel for the Morecambe fans really. The opening games of the season have been postponed for them, so it's really touch and go for Morecambe, and we'll keep our fingers crossed.
Can I just jump in there as well?
Go on.
And just say, I hope Jason doesn't listen to this and reneges on his deal now because he heard you, Max, call him the Idiot of the Week.
If only I had such sway over football club owners. I reckon Peter Swan would have sold a lot earlier.
I also reckon it's been called a lot worse this last couple of weeks.
Fantastic. And obviously we've got to go for Marco because it's Marco and he's nominating himself and he's an idiot, but we love him. So that's 1 point for Gareth, 1 point for Marco going into the final one, which will be the moment of the week. Just before we do the moment of the week, I want to give a big shout out to an Iron fan who's been in touch with us. Thanks to Billy Montgomery for the message on Twitter, who asks us, and we're more than happy to oblige, to give a shout out to his 14-month-old grandson, Elijah Oates, who he's very happy to say has sponsored Ollie Ewing's home kit for this season. You've bagged a good one there on the basis of his performance at Tamworth and his performances in pre-season. Billy adds, I was wondering if there'd been a younger sponsor than that. Need to start his love of Scunthorpe United early. I think getting him to sponsor Scunthorpe players before he can talk and potentially walk, that's my kind of indoctrination. Great scenes there, Billy. Absolutely love it. And Gareth, you've sponsored a player as well this season, haven't you?
Yep, Deck Cow.
Excellent.
And not 14 months, maybe mental.
Oh, I don't believe it. And Marco, obviously, a couple of seasons before the podcast, we sponsored Clunan, who has since gone on to Kings Lynn. Who do we sponsor for this season, just in case anybody's missed the news?
It's Horton, who obviously I didn't mention earlier, actually. I feel like he could start.
I thought he had a really good game at Tamworth. A lot of traffic down that side. Good word defensively.
I thought it was outstanding. And also on Tuesday, obviously, him being one of the subs that got taken off, I think is a big indication to say that he's going to start on Saturday as well. Yeah. And look, I was very impressed with him. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Right then, speaking of impressive, the moment you've all been waiting for, our moment of the week. Gaz, you're up.
Mine is from the Birmingham Sheffield United game last night.
Ooh.
And the Gus Hamer goal.
That was a great goal.
It's all over media. Goal of the season already, maybe. I don't know, but it was some strike.
It'll be right up there. I happen to be in Redland Club, and for some reason they couldn't get the BT Sports to work for the Super Cup final. So we all ended up watching Birmingham Sheffield United instead.
A lot better.
That was some goal, that.
Yeah, definite.
Marco, who's yours?
It was good, but it wasn't quite Danny Whitehall.
Oh.
Whitehall's free kick at Tamworth as an opener, which took us top of the table for a couple of minutes. An absolute thunder bastard. And Whitehall's done that before. I know I forgot where we signed him from. Boreham? Not Boreham. Eastleigh, sorry. I'd saw obviously his clips before. Previously, he'd scored a couple of free kicks, so we know he's got it in his locker. I know on Tuesday we got a free kick in a similar position to the right-hand side, and Roberts turned around and gave Whitehall that look. I don't know if it was having a jerk together. But I think it hit the wall or went high and wide. So, look, not everyone can do it like Danny, but yeah, what a fantastic goal. When I did see it, no thanks to Dazin. But yeah, really good goal.
Yeah, if I'd have picked one, it would have been Whitehall as well. So I've got to be honest with you, Marco. By nominating yourself and Danny Whitehall, you've won 2-1. Congratulations.
Just two idiots.
No comments. Yeah, that's definitely a strong contender for moment of the week, I think, just for the scenes in the away end, if nothing else. Right then, Iron fans, thank you very much for listening. Before we go, I do just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors. Firstly, we've got Best Blanks Wholesale, your one-stop shop for all your crafting needs. Also want to give a big shout out as well to Hole in the Wand, run by the excellent Phil Pinder, who, if you sit anywhere near Gareth, is always good value at the home games. He's got a magical mini golf course at various locations in the UK, including York, including Chester as well, I believe. I hope it's draped in claret and blue. And also the very, very talented AC photography and videography, and the one and only No Film. You'll know Pete and Ched from both of whom filmed those amazing kit launch videos, which I think quite rightly went down a massive treat for Iron fans for both the home and away kits this season. So yeah, massive shout out to all of our sponsors. Thank you very much for listening. I don't think there's anything I've forgotten, Marco, is there? You're looking quizzically.
No, I think we've covered it. What a podcast.
We've lived without Barra for another week. And yeah, we'll hopefully see you all again next week after the Woking game. Up the Iron.